Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, what you are looking at is the way I will be grading your quiz tomorrow. So we have these 3 pages of homework titled Solving Quadratics Using Square Roots, Completing the Square, and Using the Quadratic Formula. I've put the dates on the left-hand side that those pages were handed out and turned into homework, and then I put the point value associated with each of those pages on the right-hand side. So if you turn in all 3 of your homeworks completed, tomorrow with the quiz, you'll automatically have a 60. And then the other 40 points will come from the problems on the quiz. And the problems from the quiz are taken directly from the homework. So if you've been doing your homework since last Friday, and you did this homework over the weekend, you're going to do just fine. I'm going to take a couple problems from the using the quadratic formula and solve those for you just to be sure that you're doing that correctly, because that is the newest thing that we've been learning. So here's number 14. And just like when we were factoring, the first thing I want to do when using the quadratic formula is set everything equal to 0. So add 4 to both sides. Should be quick, easy, and obvious. That step should not slow you down at all. Now we've got 5x squared plus 9x plus 4 equals 0. So here is A, here's B, and here's C. So all we've got to do is take those values of A, B, and C, plug them into the quadratic formula, and do all the computations, and out comes the root that we're looking for. That's our quadratic formula up top in red. So since B is 9, the opposite of B, or the opposite of 9, is negative 9. Plus or minus the square root of B squared. Well, 9 squared equals 81. So 81 minus 4 times A, which is 5, times C, which is 4. And all of this is divided by 2 times A, which is 5. Now all we've got to do is the math. Just be sure you're keeping your order of operations straight. Negative 9 plus and minus the square root of 81 minus 4 times 5 times 4. Well, 4 times 5 times 4 is 80. 81 minus 80 is 1. And 2 times 5 is 10. We could call that finished, except for that it's really easy to take the square root of 1. So x is equal to negative 9 plus 1 divided by 10, and x is also equal to negative 9 minus 1 divided by 10, which means our roots must be negative 4/5 and negative 1. And I know I did just skip a step there, so let me show you the math I did in between. Nothing is obvious until you see it for yourself. Negative 9 plus 1 is negative 8 divided by 10, and that's a fraction which reduces to negative 4/5. Negative 9 minus 1 is negative 10, which is a fraction that reduces to negative 1. And we would want to write our answer in the solution set form. It doesn't matter which solution you write first, just that you put them in the set. Number 12, you could use the quadratic formula on this by subtracting 80 from both sides and then plugging everything into the quadratic formula while using the value of B as 0. There is no middle term here. So that means what we've really got is 5r squared plus 0r minus 80, which means that A is 5, B is 0, and C is negative 80. But that's a waste of time. Divide both sides by 5. R squared is equal to 16. Take the square root of both sides. R is equal to positive and negative 4. And then you write that in your solution set form. And number 15 plays out in a similar way once you combine all of your like terms. Here's number 17. After setting everything in the quadratic equal to 0. A is 9, B is 4, C is negative 16. So the opposite of B, plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C. Note how I took the negative sign with the 16. C is not 16, C is negative 16. So when I plug it into the quadratic equation, I plug in negative 16. Divide by 2 times A, 2 times 9. Now simplify. Negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 4 times 9 times negative 16. It's a great time to use your calculator. I get plus 576 divided by 18. Add what's beneath the radical together and check to see if the square root of 592 is perfect. It's not, so we can leave it alone. Final answer, negative 4 plus the square root of 592 divided by 18, and negative 4 minus the square root of 592 divided by 18. And we put those in brackets to indicate not an ordered pair, but a solution set.